Good morning. In today's video, we're going to talk about, should you start riding motorcycles? You know, this is all pretty much opinion based, but maybe I can give you some insight into why you should or shouldn't ride according to me. Now, a little background on me. I got my first street legal motorcycle when I was back in 2015. Yeah, 2015. I was 18 years old, so that's kind of cool. Been riding for 9 years. We're almost at 10, so that's a big milestone, right? But yeah, I mean, there really isn't many reasons why you shouldn't start riding, but there definitely are some. So to start off, we're gonna say, make sure you're financially ready to own a motorcycle, regardless if it's $1,000, $20,000, $50,000. It is another expense, right? There are going to be maintenance costs, tires, oil changes, insurance, even if you don't have a payment, all those things. So being financially ready is probably the biggest factor in motorcycle ownership, I would think, right? Also being mentally mature, okay? There are no second chances on a bike. A silly mistake you can make in a vehicle could have much more devastating consequences on a motorcycle. And that's just the reality of the lifestyle, okay? But if you take into account all factors while riding, it can be a safe activity, okay? Yes, you can't control the people around you, but you can mitigate risk and limit it, period, which we will get into in future videos. I actually have created a list, and I'm gonna make a series on how to ride safer. And I feel like I make some really good key points that I actually hardly ever see other people talking about. So make sure you subscribe and get the notifications for my channel so that when I start popping these videos out, you guys can at least take a look. But the question is, should you start riding? Well, I would say the first thing you want to look at is, what kind of riding do you want to do, right? Is this going to be an everyday commute? And I'm assuming that anybody that is watching this video is somebody that hasn't started riding yet. Well, I can tell you that everyday commuting, I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you want to do that, right? Well, take it from me, right? I get my first motorcycle at 18, and I didn't give a fuck if it was raining, hot as fuck, cold as hell. I was riding the bike, okay? It was that simple. And that's true stories, man. I used to work at a hospital, and I kept a second pair of clothes in my locker because I refused to not ride my bike even if it was raining. I would ride there, change, and then work. Dude, I'm not even fucking with you, bro. This is legitimate. But I would say, if you want to start riding, but you want to make sure you check all the boxes, have a vehicle. Okay, have a car that you can rely on before only relying on a motorcycle. Everyday commuting sounds like why the fuck wouldn't you? But you know, riding every day could not only be physically exhausting, but it's mentally exhausting. You have to be more aware. You know, when I'm in my car driving, I'm just driving, right? When I'm riding, I'm doing like a 360-degree scan it feels like 10 seconds, dude. I'm looking at the car behind me, I'm looking at the car in front of me, I'm looking at every intersection. So before you start riding, make sure you have something that, God, you're feeling drained, you know, like, I just needed to go to the store real quick. Have that vehicle. Another question I would ask you before I gave you my opinion on if you should start riding is, how much experience do you have on two wheels, right? Let's start with bicycles. Can you ride a fucking bicycle? If you can, great, check that off the list. But no, seriously, I came from dirt bikes, right? I got my first dirt bike when I was 3, and I've ridden ever since. So coming from that, I mean, it was very easy for me to transfer over to the street. It was almost nothing. But if you have zero riding experience, and I'm gonna say this, if you have the opportunity, start on the dirt. Go out, get you a, God, I don't know, a 125, dude, a $800 dirt bike off of Marketplace, something, and they hold their value really well, so you can resell it for pretty much the same price. But take that time to get comfortable using your hands and feet while driving, because all of your important controls really are in your hands, right? Your clutch is over here, and your brake, your front brake, which is 70% of your braking, is also with your hands. That's the total opposite than a car. You need to get comfortable using your hands to pretty much make the motorcycle do what you want it to do, and it not being something you have to think about. All right, now if you don't have any opportunity, like there's nowhere around you to ride off-road, obviously that's going to be a lot of places. I'd highly recommend you start on something like a Grom, okay, something that can't get you really into any trouble, and keep it in the neighborhood. Go out to the streets that are 35 mile an hour posted, work your way up to the 40, 45 mile an hour, stay away from traffic, make sure you're riding at the right times. Once you're comfortable dealing with a few unexpected things, right, then yes, go ahead and get yourself that bike. It's really not a difficult step-by-step process. I would never give somebody the green light to go ahead and hop on a motorcycle if they don't even know how to ride a bicycle, right? That's why I wanted to cover that. If you've never had to use a clutch or a brake with your hands, right? Come on, let's get you used to it. The motorcycle course for your license will not prepare you for everyday riding, even with no traffic. It just won't. Okay, I took it, I was like, man, this shit's like garbage, honestly. It just, I mean, sure, it definitely helps, I guess, but I mean, there's no such thing, there's no course that's going to prepare you for the real world out here riding. So just keep that in mind. But you definitely need to, and that's another thing, counter steering, right? I push to go left, right? So I turn my wheel right to go left. How does that make sense? Counter steering. I mean, I don't fucking know. I definitely know it has to do with opposite reactions have equal react. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to. I mean, it's something that it's gonna fuck with your brain. Let's see, should you start? Absolutely, man. You definitely should. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're obviously interested. There's a few steps, right, into making sure that you're going to be proficient and not put yourself in an unnecessary amount of danger. But everybody has to start somewhere, and no one is going to have the same background that I had, right? Well, yeah, pretty much. Everybody's gonna have a new starting point. So whether or not you've never even ridden a bicycle all the way up to, you used to race on a supercross track or supermoto track or whatever kind of track, and you just want to transfer over to the street to ride every day, you definitely should start taking the steps to doing so. Whether it's saving up some money, whether it's practicing riding in your backyard, anything. But yes, you definitely should. I think more people should be out on the roads riding. I think it would help people that don't ride at least start paying attention more, right? The more you see it, the more you're looking out for it. And I picked up on that when I lived in California. So many people rode up there, and I just noticed that the cagers, they always had an eye out for motorcycles in comparison to Florida here. Down here in Florida, there's a lot less riders, and they're not necessarily looking out for us as much as they were in California, right? They weren't. I don't know. It's just the facts. It's just at least what I perceive, right? So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for an answer on who I don't think should ride a motorcycle, I can't really give that to you. I encouraged all of my friends to buy them, and most of them have, and it's only been a good experience for everybody. Most of them are still riding to this day, even the ones I asked when I got my first motorcycle, hey bro, you should get a bike. They still got bikes, right? Because it always turns into, you know, you meet new people, you meet new friends, and y'all are just fucking chilling, riding, hitting each other up on the weekends to do nothing more than just to ride. So, yeah. If you are looking for a new hobby, something to get you out on the weekends, I mean, this is the best. If you ask me, this is the best way to go. Everyday costs are pretty low, right? Fuel is definitely manageable, so no complaints there. And yeah, I mean, again, it is a little, it is a dangerous activity, but it is not a death wish that everybody wants to fucking say. Anytime you buy a bike, bro, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it from the day you own one to the day you get rid of your last one. Oh, those things are death traps. Those things. It's like, yeah, if I'm doing 180 down the fucking road and going through intersections and, you know. But there's always ways to mitigate risk, like I said. I'm about to say, this dude not gonna wave to me or what? Anyway, guys, I mean, look, you just need to be safe out there. Just make sure that you have all of your boxes, your personal own boxes checked before you go and purchase your first motorcycle. I think that you should be riding. If you're even questioning it, you should at least give it a try, right? Go out, buy yourself a piece of shit, okay? Give it a try. If you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. And you can just move on to the next thing. But if you think you should start riding, you already know the answer, okay? So we're gonna end this video here. It wasn't too much in depth because it's all personal, or personal opinion based, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to discourage anybody. I just wanted to give you a few key points, make sure that you guys are ready to take that step, and that's about it. But yeah, I hope to see you guys on the road. Make sure you ride safe, wear gear even though I'm not fucking wearing any. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do, maybe. I don't know. It was just a quick rip though, so yeah, I'll see you on the next one.